What's up, guys? It's us once again. TikTok podcast full effect from the White House live with my co-host Brett, and we also have my good friend, fellow streamer, sports enthusiast, streamer. Brett. So we're here again, man. How you guys doing?
Doing fantastic.
You got my buddy here doing his culinary style. What is it? Lime cutting here.
Cutting some limes because I'm not one of those anti-vaxxers. There's a movement, anti-vax movement, right? Where it's a big deal, dude. People don't want to get their children vaccinated, right?
Oh, okay, that's serious.
And
okay.
A lot of people know that there's a serious illness going throughout the world right now.
Coronavirus.
So prepare to get vaccinated.
Oh yeah,
bitches.
we're gonna get vaccinated right here, right now.
Hell yeah.
That's crazy though. Talking on that, it's I think of the number of the lives it's claimed already. It's up to like 40 something now,
42.
Right? That's crazy.
As
so
of today.
So right off the rip, let's talk about that. So how did that? Do they know how this came about?
Yeah, it was the market where everything was unsanitary,
okay.
And it was a wet market. So they're cutting fish, they're cutting all these animals, all that bacteria is just collecting, and then the only thing they do at the end of the day is they hose down the market, and there's no sanitary, there's no bacterial cleaner, sanitation, nothing. And guess what? They had SARS. China had SARS in the early 2000s, and guess what? It came back for 2.0 with the coronavirus. So we're about to get vaccinated, y'all.
That's insane, though. And I was also watching in the news that they were supposedly trying to build like this mega hospital to contain it or something like that.
Yeah,
like they're building it right now in 6 days. Supposed to be. I mean, dude.
So
I
you're
would
telling
applaud
me
them
they
if
didn't
finished
know?
10 in 6 days. What's up?
Who builds a hospital in 6 days, bro?
Nobody.
China.
Well, then maybe. Yeah.
Maybe
I'll do it in 6 days.
Maybe if you knew something was going down.
I'm not very well informed on the situation, but I did see a video earlier. So it's funny that you had brought it up. But
really?
It was a hospital. I don't know if he was like the chief or whatever, but he was calling someone and he was crying because there were so many sick people.
Really?
He was like,
dude.
literally, I didn't hear anything about this. The first I've actually
heard.
Like now it makes sense why I saw the video. Obviously.
Crazy how it come about, right? That's insane.
Sound like me, like when it comes to sports.
It's insane.
2 months after it's over.
It's crazy too because it's
thank you,
already touched down here too, right? They had like a man from Everett at Providence Hospital.
Not even lying,
dude. It's insane.
That was our first American case.
This reminds me of the whole scare when the swine flu happened. Remember that?
Oh yeah, dude.
Dude,
Remember
it was
the
crazy.
Ebola
People were
virus
just
when it
like
hit?
freaking out.
Yeah, man.
It's insane.
Anthrax.
Coming to a White House near you.
Yeah.
No, not a White House. My White House. I'm the president of the HOA. That's what I meant. I did not.
We're in the White House.
Anything.
Yeah, technically, this is the White House, right?
I don't know if you guys heard about this, but during the 90s, early 90s, mid 90s, I'm not positive, but Saddam Hussein, I guess, had threatened some sort of like plane to fly over the United States, and everyone was scared. That was the thing that everyone was scared about at the time, is that they were going to get anthrax bombs like dropped on them. So that's crazy.
That's insane,
dude. That's well, you know, the thing is when was the last time the world had a good what's that called?
Chemical
plague.
warfare.
No, a good old fashioned
chemical warfare. Both things are awful. I mean, we hope it doesn't happen, but you know,
bring it on. Who's coming with me? Remember Half Baked?
I vaguely remember it. I've seen it
coming with
before
me?
though. That's crazy.
I think Iran would go there, but they're still back in the 70s with the military. So.
Dude, we're about to make this an old-fashioned tip touch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Sorry, guys.
We got the glass. Last time we had the plastic. On last episode, shout out to Young Breed. That was a good one. If you guys haven't checked that out, do so. It's on Spotify, TuneIn Radio, YouTube for the video portion of it, and Apple Podcasts. So it's all in our bio on the Instagram page at the Tip Touch Podcast. Which, by the way, I just want to bring up first and foremost that it's amazing to see the reaction we're getting and the love we're getting, because we see the numbers are just climbing, dude. And that's one thing I can't go out, just proceed on without even bringing that up to, you know, for you guys, just to know that. Thank you. We appreciate it. And again, I've always said it. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning for 2020. We're going to go strong.
Oh, it's just like a farmer when he plants a seed and he's just waiting for the harvest to grow.
Or when a dude plants a seed.
Delayed gratification, baby.
I mean, I have, way back in the day, I was on the show once. And what's
from the vault.
amazing, what's amazing to see, I've been paying attention to you guys, and I've been watching the clips and stuff, and I'm glid to be a part of it. So
Dude, man. Oh, dude, for sure.
Let's talk about that because he was on episode like -3.
The
episode that people will maybe hear.
Yeah. We'll throw it out there.
We'll somewhere.
Someday, yeah.
Yeah, we'll put it on our exclusive.
That was the day that that was you were actually there for one of our birth pains because we had one mic that had to pick up all
that was
of our
right.
things. It was the Yeti.
But isn't that crazy how that started and look what it's evolving to? And dude, these are just steps, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
babe.
saying? And
I did not mean to call you babe.
It's all right. It's a habit.
hey man, you haven't even drank one
Told you what
Corona. You already
happens when I start drinking, baby.
Let's cheers to this.
Told
though.
me I smelled like loud.
Let's get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Cheers. It's lungy.
Good.
Ow!
But yeah, what were we talking about?
We were talking about
The coronavirus.
no the baby steps.
The baby steps. Yes. It's cool to see that we've evolved to this point where we're steadily going now. It's smooth sailing so far, so good. And we're just more excited to bring you guys just good stuff, and we just can't wait. I'm just excited.
For anybody watching this, this was not planned.
Yeah,
folks.
This was like
yeah. If you look at Eddie, my man Eddie's wearing Seahawks. He's representing the Seahawks, old fashioned, the vintage,
old school. I like the vintage
throwback.
stuff.
And then we've got the Oklahoma or not Thunder.
Oh, that was fitting.
damn,
Oh,
Seattle
my
Sox.
God. Oh, wow.
Sean Kemp.
The hands are gonna be thrown.
No, so it's hilarious. I don't know if you saw the Seattle Post, back when the Thunder went to the finals.
Yeah.
Right after they left Seattle with Kevin Durant, it said the headline said Sonics go to finals. Oh wait.
That's
what it said.
Yeah, dude.
Oh wow.
Dude. Oh.
And then we got me representing the Mariners, the
Yeah.
only team that has not made it to the World Series.
Do you think that'll happen soon, Brad?
Well, they are the Cleveland Browns of the MLB. So,
Oh man, dude.
I mean, it's pretty sad to think about. The last time they made the playoffs, I was 12 years old on the way to my basketball game.
Oh man.
Dude,
I remember that was
2001.
when the Sonics quit or got sold off.
Yeah.
That's when I quit watching basketball.
Really?
Yeah. But something between the three of us, don't tell anybody. There may be a potential move in the future.
Really?
That actually takes my family to the home of the Sonics.
oh no!
Oh, really?
way.
Yeah,
I'll be babysitting.
you've said that before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
So we don't know. I mean, it wouldn't be anything for like the next until maybe 1 to 2 years.
Yeah.
But yeah. So if things go the way that they could go, we would end up, and I would certainly go into the stadium. We would be watching basketball again. But I would be rocking
the
this
Seattle
vibe.
Sonics.
I would let them know.
Well, that's good to know, or else we would have just jumped you right now. Just stopping you out.
Whoa.
Joking.
Last weekend,
So
I
violent.
went and I got the opportunity to see. I don't know if you've heard of Giannis, the Greek freak. He was the MVP of
Bucks,
the NBA
right?
last year
Bucks,
for the Bucks.
yeah.
My brother-in-law Sarge he bought us, me and my fiance Diane, some tickets, so we went down there.
Hi, Diane.
Yeah, and
Congratulations, by the
Yeah,
way.
congrats.
So,
man, yeah.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Hey, let's drink to that.
Yeah,
I mean, there's so many
Yeah,
reasons
tell
to
ya.
drink and get vaccinated. Coronavirus.
Vaccinated. So it's awesome that I wore this jersey in because I looked around the crowd and I saw them speckled. There were Sonic jerseys.
Oh, really?
Still a guy right in front of me had a Sonics hat
No
on,
way.
like old school, and they were all sitting there. And it's like, obviously the guy loves basketball and he wants his kid. He was with his kid and he
Yeah.
wanted to bring him to the game, but he wants to see the Sonics again. So
Of course.
hopefully when that hockey team comes back, we'll.
Oh yeah, we are getting a hockey team too, right?
Yeah. So we're getting an NHL team.
When is that?
I think I'm not positive when the first season is supposed to take place. It might be 2021,
So
2022.
this is a serious, it's done deal.
They're building a stadium.
Oh really? Where exactly? Yeah, I heard that it got passed that we are going to get an NHL team, and there was some names thrown around on like people were voting what they were going to be called too, right?
Right. So off the top of my head too, and I'm not a huge hockey fan. I don't
Neither.
Even, I would have to really.
Not since the Mighty
one of us
Ducks
should
the
look.
movie.
One of us
Eddie
should
might
look. I want to say it's like the Totems.
Totems.
That's what
Okay.
I want to say. The Seattle. Yeah. Let's
So
see
right off
So
the bat, I know, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, the sea chickens,
It is the totems.
the
yeah.
scrotums. We're
Yeah.
gonna be,
Oh my
right?
God.
We're gonna be the scrotums.
And it
I'm
works.
telling
It
you
kind of
right
rolls
now.
off the tongue. Seattle scrotums.
Seattle
Scrotums,
scrotums.
totems.
Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna play the scrotums.
The scrotum
Yeah.
totems.
Let's show them scrotums.
Oh
And
man.
believe-
But I wouldn't mind going to check it out just because it's like history in the making that we're getting an NHL team, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've watched the Everett Silvertips.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
I heard I mean, it's cool to watch. I mean, it's not
When you're
cool that
drunk.
they're throwing hands, but it's cool to watch like them just going fists just against each other too, right?
No,
There's
it
no
is
fights.
fun. That's why you go to hockey games and you go to NASCAR races to watch the crashes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry that you die, right?
Damn.
Well, you're the one like sorry.
Getting vaccinated.
I still cannot figure out
No.
what they're named.
I mean, but we are getting an NHL
Yeah,
team.
yeah,
That's the
so-
important
so
thing, right? But
basically
where's the
that-
building the stadium at?
Yeah, so I think
The
it's in
totem.
Soto. I want to say, but again, I'm not positive, so I'm sorry for not
No,
having
that's
all
all
that
good.
information.
Yeah,
but the main part of it is that if they can show that they can have,
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
like-
no,
yeah.
if they can show that they can house an NHL team,
Yeah.
Dude.
then the NBA is
NBA
gonna
is
be,
a no- like
they're
a no
gonna be in
question
line.
type deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially because all the old stadiums that they have, and it's really just a moving game for them. They're
sure.
just
Would
trying
it
to
be
find
inappropriate if we called them the Seattle Hobos?
yeah, I mean,
I mean, if you want to be hung alive, yeah, go for it.
The Seattle homeless camp.
well, yeah, I mean, Portland could do the same thing.
The Seattle dumpster fire.
Cheers to Portland.
Yeah,
I'm
it's,
kidding. I'm kidding.
That's yeah. I almost forgot that we were gonna get a hockey team. It was a done deal a couple of years ago. I'd say a year ago that they said, "All right, it's official. We're gonna do it."
Yeah, and I haven't heard too many details about
Yeah.
it since then. And I know that they were originally talking about like playing this season, which
Oh, wow.
they don't even have. I think they were talking about playing in the Key Arena
Wow.
and so I don't know
The
if
Key Arena. History.
again, I haven't really caught it, really kept up on the news, but I think
Why are you here
possibly
then?
they went. Well, when it comes to hockey, I mean, hockey's not really on
Nah,
my
it's not his
radar.
forte.
Yeah,
That is,
so
Kidding.
anything else though, but yeah, I think what they're doing is they're renovating the Key Arena for the short term.
I did hear
but
that
then they
too,
have
yeah.
plans to build.
The big
so.
thing I heard was there was an issue with the taxpayers, how the funding of it.
How they're gonna fund it?
Was that gonna were the Seattle taxpayers gonna be on the hook or the Washington taxpayers? So I'd be interested to check all that out.
Yeah, and I'll follow that moving forward.
For sure.
Definitely. Just
Next
because
time
it's
on the
yeah,
TikToks. No,
next time.
but okay, let's jump into this. All right, it's time for the Super Bowl. It's that time where it's left up to two teams, and Kansas City Chiefs, San Francisco 49ers. It sucks that our Seahawks couldn't make it,
That's
but
when I quit
it
watching
is what
football.
it is, right?
Yeah.
Let's start off by right off the rip. Who do you guys think is gonna take it? On why?
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
I'm with Kansas too.
I mean, I don't want to make this boring, but I also think Kansas
Yeah.
City is gonna take it.
I want to know why because
So,
Yeah.
I'm the
there's-
least.
There's a few reasons why, but mainly you want to look at both sides of the both teams, who has the ball in their hand the most,
Yeah.
and it's the quarterback.
Yeah.
So if you look back at it, Jimmy Garoppolo is not a super proven quarterback, right? Like every single day, you know that when Mahomes goes out there, you're probably going to win the game because of him. And it's kind of similar with Russell Wilson. So when it comes down to it, obviously we're going to get into it a little bit more, but if it gets to a shootout, I'm not really confident that Garoppolo can stay with Mahomes.
Also,
so-
with that being said, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
He went in against a shootout against probably what they would say the GOAT, Tom Brady. They were both going back and forth last year when they played a game, I think during the playoffs, right? They were both going at it. Patriots, Kansas City. And he kept up. Like, dude, and he was a second year in. I mean, that just shows a lot right there. That speaks for itself. And I'm not really such a big sports nut that I know all the stats and whatnot. But what was the game where Kansas City was down 16 points? They came back and they scored they doubled that. I'm like, dude, this guy's
Yeah,
dude,
so
it's insane.
That was in the divisional playoff just this year. They were playing against the Texans, and the Texans had like a 24-0 lead.
Dude, 24-0, bro.
And I believe the Chiefs scored 3 touchdowns in 3:09.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah.
I remember in the beginning of the season, San Francisco was favored to go to the Super Bowl. There was talk about them going to the Super Bowl from the very beginning, and that's one thing I always hate hearing.
Yeah.
I hate it when they're our rivals.
It's a rivalry,
right?
yeah, for
and
sure.
and I hate it when they get that far. So the only reason I'm saying they aren't gonna get the Super Bowl is just because it's just out of spite. And I understand Richard Sherman is on there.
Yep.
Article I read about him, he was saying that he doubts that he would go to the White House if he was invited. My
Okay.
question is, what makes you think you're going to get invited?
Out. Hey. Just smearing it all the chest.
Hey,
I mean-
but thanks for the Super Bowl you did give us.
Yeah, right, yeah,
Sherman
yeah.
better strap up next Sunday because it's going to be a long day for him.
You think so?
Yeah, the one of Sherman's weaknesses is he's not very fast, and Kansas City's receivers.
Are you saying he's mediocre?
I wouldn't go that far. He is all pro. He's
Yeah.
second team all pro. But one weakness, even leading back to his prime, was always getting beat by speed.
Okay.
So if a guy could get around him or a double move, like fake the slant, turn out, and run straight out, right? Just do a streak down the field.
Yeah.
He can get beat. He's
So that's how you're
going
going to get Sherm.
So basically, over the top. I worry for him against the receivers because they're all like speedsters.
And
Everyone-
Kansas, that's one of their
Music
that's
to
one
my
of their
ears.
heavy weapons is the receivers in that passing game, bro. I mean, I'm just saying, dude, it's
What about the defense? Who has the stronger defense?
San Fran, bro. I'm sorry to say, San Fran does have a solid defense.
well, on paper, Kansas City actually has a better ranked defense.
Really?
So, well, if you go by, it's about what score you have at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And San Francisco actually has a tenth of a point higher than Kansas City allowed. So
wow.
even though Kansas City, a lot of people are talking about how great San Francisco is,
Yeah.
their defense has actually fallen off quite a bit since like week 8. So it's kind of interesting.
What about the Vegas odds? Anybody paid attention to those?
are you betting on the game first of all?
Well, we're not allowed to bet in the state of Washington on a game.
Wink, wink.
But I may
There's
be
a lot of
I
stuff
may
you're
be
not
making a little wager on the game
Yeah.
just because I have some friends that live in other states.
For sure.
So I can kind of let them know, hey, I want to do this, but I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I like to
So
sometimes just enjoy
what
the
are
game.
the Vegas odds?
It has to be right around. I mean, Kansas City is the favorite, but I don't know what the odds are off the top of my head. But I believe it's like almost even. It's like minus.
It's gonna be a good
That's
game.
It's
good.
like minus
shootout.
125 or
I
something.
want to
like,
see that.
Yeah,
I do want to
exactly.
see a good game.
Not like last year. That last year's game, was it the Rams versus Patriots? Boring.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was it, right? I was
That's
like,
what I
dude, come
hate.
on,
I
man.
hate those
Dude, it
blowout
was-
games.
Yeah.
Like even the year that Seattle won
Yeah.
the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
When the Super Bowl game, in my opinion, was when San Francisco and Seattle.
Oh, that
was-
the game
oh
before.
my
That
God.
was
With
an iconic
Crabtree.
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at that game, dude.
Oh, that's insane, dude.
Yeah. It was amazing. I was right up in the the corner of the end zone. It was the south.
Right there.
Yeah,
Whiskey
yeah,
man,
man.
right there.
So it was the southwest corner, and I was up in section 327. I want to say it was like row.
Dude, I'm always in
I was up
section
there,
420,
and
bro.
basically, hey man, I was in section 420 earlier. But no, I remember when he made that tip when Colin Kaepernick. It's like he stared him down and like wanted to beat him. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
And,
yeah.
like he threw it into the end zone, and everyone knew he was gonna throw it. And when it happened, people
Dead silent.
seriously, dude, no. We were in Seattle, so people
Yeah.
were falling, screaming, shaking each other, falling down the stand.
That's
I mean, it
insane.
was
I was gonna ask you, like, the
crazy.
energy. How was the energy that night? Like that when that moment happened, was it like for you, like, like
Dude,
you know?
I'm not gonna lie. As a Seahawks fan, my entire life, like we hadn't won it yet. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
beyond excited.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
I thought that there's a possibility we might not even win the next game.
For sure.
But I was just so excited because I hadn't seen it since I was like 15.
Dude, I'm not gonna
And
lie.
I think I probably come from like every Seattle sports fan's
Yeah.
point of view. So
I was never a
sir.
Seahawks fan until they won the Super Bowl that year, and I've been a Seahawks fan since.
Since, yeah.
You know, it's hard. You know, when you're what do they call
Bandwagoner?
those? A bandwagoner like
okay,
me.
you hop on.
But since I live here, but if I ever moved here, like let's just say I end up in OKC, you know, I mean, there is a chance where I might
I don't
take
see
out.
anything wrong with supporting the local team, to be honest. Even if you move to Oklahoma City, you
No,
would
I
be
just
known
want to
as,
support
like,
the winner. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
care.
He's just being honest.
You would be like the mean cat lady if you moved to Oklahoma City and you're like, I'm not watching them because I used to be a Sonic fan. Yeah. And it's like,
I would
hate
actually.
you.
I like their colors,
Their logo, their
There you
mascot.
go.
Their
but I just
mascot.
wouldn't wear them here.
Yeah.
It'd
So
be like
he's already halfway there.
wearing the wrong colors, bro.
You said Crabtree.
Yeah.
No, I
What's
said
this whole
Crabtree.
beef between him and Sherman on Twitter? They were just going back and forth. So what was that whole thing? I
Today?
Revis.
Oh, Grievous. Sorry,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Crabtree.
So back when Sherman was on his uprise, I guess,
Yeah.
Darrelle Revis was considered the best cornerback in the league, which is also the same position that Sherman plays. Sherman was trying to get attention. He was calling people out. He went onto Twitter and he called out Darrelle Revis. Well, now, fast forward, 10 years later, Sherman is probably held at a higher, I mean, my opinion is Sherman is probably just above Darrelle Revis. But Darrelle Revis is now retired and at home. Darrelle Revis tweeted out that basically Richard Sherman never guards anyone man-to-man. And he never follows anyone. Play football and give the fans what they want.
Yeah.
Richard Sherman responds after the game, and he says, your year 10 looks a lot different than mine did. He's like, I'm not gonna.
That's a burn. It's
and
like he
said-
walked into it.
He said, I'm not gonna get into it with this has-been. I got a Super Bowl to get ready for.
Dude, that's a burn. I mean,
Mic
Sherman. That. Come on, man. What are you?
Yeah. So
Yeah, that
cheers
was.
to Sherman.
Yeah, man, you deserve it. I mean,
Don't do that.
I feel like he got doubted a lot because he was leaving Seattle. He was dealing his own contract with San Fran, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Didn't he do it himself?
He did. That's what I'm saying. He represented himself, and he came back from an Achilles, with the Achilles injury, and look where he's at now. So
No, where is he at?
Yeah.
Tell people that don't know.
San Fran, when,
San Fran,
and
on
NFC
his own
champs
deal.
right now, and they're gonna go to Super Bowl.
Second team All Pro.
Yeah.
So that the thing is he didn't he write in the contract, if I make it to the Super Bowl, I get a
Was it?
something million
Really?
something dollar bonus, like $10 million bonus or $4 million or something.
I
don't know,
don't
to be
know
honest.
He
anything
wrote that
about-
in, and everybody was
Wow.
laughing at him. They were
'Cause they were
clowning
doubting
him,
him, right?
Because
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
saying
yeah.
San Francisco is not going to the Super Bowl. They end up in the Super Bowl. Then he gets another multi-million-dollar bonus if they win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's insane.
So
It's kind of one of those cool
What-
comeback stories, I think, in
hey,
my opinion, bro.
the name that comes to mind at this point is Nancy Kerrigan. Why? Remember the Olympics where Tanya Harding had the two like trailer park
Oh yeah. I remember.
guys come in with the iron pipes and break.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
It was an ice skater, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard you hear about that. That's insane. That's pretty
I'm
brutal.
showing my age.
It is brutal.
That's crazy.
I'm just kidding.
right?
One misconception people have about Sherman though is, obviously it's natural when you love the dude, right? Like
Yeah.
you're a fan and you love him so much, and then he decides that he's leaving. There's kind of more that goes into it, and a lot of people don't realize that Sherman actually went to the Seahawks and said, "This is the contract that I'm going to sign with someone.
Yep.
I want to sign it here, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to do it. And if you don't, I'm going down to San Francisco and I'm going to go sign."
Yep.
He told him, we said no, and he went down there and signed.
Absolutely.
So how do you
no,
blame him?
No,
Yeah.
seriously. And that year was also the year that Marshawn Lynch was having his
the
issues,
Raiders, right?
Was that the same year?
Yep.
I don't blame
And,
him.
and
I
no,
don't
no.
blame
Here's
him,
the
bro.
thing: as a bandwagoner,
Yeah.
Seattle bandwagoner, I was pissed at Seattle coach for that. I mean,
Yeah.
I was 100% pro. I'm thankful.
Yeah.
I'm thankful. I love Beast Mode.
Oh yeah,
To this day,
Shout out 24,
love
bro.
him.
Yeah.
Love him.
dude,
And-
he's one of my favorite players.
Yeah,
honestly, straight up, dude.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I
And
saw
no
him out
matter
there.
what team he's on.
He said it gave you the feels because he told me you're like, dude,
Dude.
it got me so like
Well,
hyped.
I
Like,
was there at the game that he came back for, and when he scored a touchdown, it was just like unbelievable.
Yeah,
the
man.
environment.
Oh, dude, people were going crazy.
People brought bags of Skittles because they knew he
Yeah.
was going to play, and they were.
Man,
I
he's
mean, it was
amazing.
amazing. So-
Dude, yeah, I mean, it's
Yep.
it's insane that
I love
he got
him,
that
I
type
love
of
Russell
reaction.
Wilson.
Still, do you think he'll come back though?
He is back.
Well,
isn't he?
no, for next year.
Oh, again.
I think he will if they'll take him back, but I don't know if we have a room for him.
Because you have these young cats too, right?
Yeah, you got Rashad Penny, who you just spent a first round pick on, and then you got Carson, who's your
Yeah.
workhorse, And then you got Procise, which, I mean, realistically, Procise is like 26,
Yeah.
even though he's been injured every year.
Who's the other
And
guy that was
Marshawn's
doing
like
work?
32. So.
Who's the other running back who was doing work too?
Homer.
Homer, dude. He's a
Yeah.
beast too, bro.
Yeah,
He's a
I don't
beast.
know. I think he's the odd man out.
You don't think
I
so?
think it's one of those things where that's it for him. He's a Maurice Morris third down back, like we talked about, like with Sean Alexander back in like 2005. He was a guy where you put him in for one play and he looks really good. He'll just because he's got such a different style, the defense kind of adjusts to how the runner is playing throughout the game.
Yeah.
And if you have a big, if you have an elusive guy who's not that fast, it's a different style than a guy who runs in a straight line and just hits the hole. But after that guy hits the hole straight on, they're going to adjust to that.
For
it's
sure.
a lot easier to defend. So
For sure.
Wow. Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
that's why they have the third down backs to change up the pace. So
Another. Okay, so one of the big, I guess, topics right now going on, since it's almost the off season for people that didn't make, or for the teams that didn't make it this far, obviously, Tom Brady. Where do we think he's gonna go? Patriots. He's been with the Patriots all his career. Now
yeah,
it's.
what do you think, Brett?
Assisted living.
Is it?
He's wearing a posture support.
I mean, he's 43, 44?
I can imagine him wearing a posture support. You know those things that swing your arms back and you just walk around.
But where do you think he has a possibility to go though?
Like to another team?
Yeah. Well, he just said he's retiring.
Okay. So he, to me, Tom Brady is the Michael Jordan of football.
I would
right?
think so.
So I could see his last years as on a Wizards type team, right?
Oh, like
Because you think
Right,
of,
right.
of Jordan, right? He
Yeah.
went out Seinfeld went out on top, right? Jordan, he could have ended with the Bulls.
Yeah.
But he just squeezed
Squeezed
one
himself
in
from
with
that
the
team,
Wizards.
You
Like,
know, I
homie.
got a really funny thing to think about. So it's funny when you think about every single athlete that's been the top of their game. Like you said, he's the Michael Jordan of football. Line them all up next to each other, and physically, those dudes are all like scary looking, right?
Yeah.
And then you see Tom Brady standing over there looking
just
like he's about
yeah.
to go to the pickleball tournament at 25.
Yeah.
guys,
It's just crazy.
want to throw some balls?
Yeah.
But dude, I mean, he 6 rings,
He's
bro.
legend,
Yeah.
though.
6 rings,
I'm just
though,
talking
dude.
shit
Yeah.
only because he's crushed so many of my dreams.
There's rumors that were swirling that supposedly that the Raiders. Supposedly, I don't know though.
I mean, I don't. The only thing that I could make sense of that would be Gruden, because Gruden and him are both old school.
Yeah.
And I think that Gruden would just kind of let him run the show.
Yeah.
But I think personally that it would be somewhere like Tennessee.
Okay.
Like
Why
Tennessee.
can't he just end with the Patriots? I mean, why
Yeah,
do they
well,
have to
so
do
yeah,
this
that's
last-
kind of
Belichick, I think part of the thing is that there's always been this
tension.
tension between the two. And, once they got to a certain point, it became, well, who's responsible for the success? Because they're having so much success, everyone would say, oh, well, it's because of Belichick. And
Yeah.
Tom Brady's like, oh, well, it's kind of because of me too, so they're at that point now where I think they both
can't it
want to
be
go
both?
prove themselves. It can't.
It's like Tupac and Biggie. Remember
Yeah,
Tupac
yeah,
and
yeah.
Biggie? Had to be one.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think to Patriots fans, it could be both, but to everyone else,
It's
they
only
look
one.
at it and it's one or the other.
Yeah.
Wow.
So and I am one of those people who also shares the sentiment that I think that Brady is considered the best ever because of Belichick. Because I don't think,
I mean,
He's kind of like the
Michael Jordan
mastermind
and Phil
behind
Jackson.
everything. I honestly think.
Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
Would Michael Jordan have been Michael Jordan without Phil Jackson? Because then Phil Jackson went to L.A., right? And look
Yeah.
at what
Yeah,
happened
with
there.
Kobe. Yeah.
Turned
Star
into a
Wars,
new dynasty.
Who's Darth Vader's?
Oh yeah, the
puppet
apprentice.
master.
It's always the Sith, the
And
master.
when
Yeah,
Jordan,
yeah,
and when Jordan went to the Wizards,
Yeah. Nah.
Hey man, people forget he averaged 25 that year. So.
Yeah. He still played ball.
All-Star
He
game,
still
man.
played ball.
okay.
Yeah. So it's gonna be.
Look
It's
is
gonna.
smooth, but
Hey, okay, Gary Payton. Okay, I was hoping it was a deadlift shrimp.
oh, dude, deadlift. You know what's crazy? I used to actually see deadlift shrimp all the time when I was younger because I played AAU ball in Seattle. Since
Are you? I mean, okay, you're tall, right? Where do you stand?
I am just under 6'8", so I'm 6'7.5". And as Eddie and I talked about, I haven't really introduced myself yet, but I played a little bit of junior college basketball up north at Skagit, and I played 13 years of AAU ball. So I'm like Like one of the guys who you hear the stories about, like their dads driving them super hard and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
That's me. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
So there you go.
but
He's a real
Yeah.
true baller, dude.
Yeah, I feel like we're very lucky to have
It
you in
didn't,
here.
it didn't quite end up in the end how I imagined it, but it was still I don't have a lot of regrets. So
It's an experience for sure.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Wow, man, that's amazing.
no, yeah,
you're
it's
gonna have some tall ass kids too.
yeah, for sure.
I hope so.
It's back to what we were saying though. It's going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen next year. Along with that, and also Eli Manning retired too. 10 seasons was it 10 seasons?
Oh, it was more than that, bro. I mean, they go way back.
Yeah.
Like,
With the Colts,
Randy
right?
Moss was still playing.
New York Jets. Oh no,
No, the
New York
Giants.
Giants.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Which
Giants.
also
Oh,
is
yeah,
confusing
yeah.
because they play in the same stadium.
Yeah,
I don't know if you knew this, but they actually play in New Jersey,
Oh,
which is kind of funny. They're called the New York.
Yeah,
New
that's
York,
kinda- I didn't
but
know
the
that.
stadium is actually in a different
Huh.
state. It's just the downtown infrastructure.
It's all
yeah,
lies.
New York.
Fake
So-
news.
Kind of like San Francisco. They don't actually play in San Francisco.
Yeah. What?
Did you know that? They play in Santa Clara. Which is like basically like
My whole life has been a lie.
So it would be like if we called the Seahawks the Seattle Seahawks and they played in Sammamish. Sammamish. Yeah. It's a ways away. We're talking like go drive to Snoqualmie Pass.
Casino Road.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, if you want to get your underground,
Hey, I'm on Casino
underground
Road
life set
often.
up, Casino Road's the place to be. Fake J's, Yeezys.
Oh, dude. Oh,
Everett, we love y'all.
Oh, no, we love everybody, man. But it's one of the I think I don't know if it was you, Brett, or Brad, probably both of you. I told. I was watching this interesting documentary on since we're on the football topic of Aaron Hernandez. That was pretty crazy. There was a lot more to it, but then again, it's only one side of things. But it's insane to think that.
What are your thoughts?
It's crazy. There was more to him than what people originally thought. Like I feel like his dad was like, we're going back to what you were saying about his dad being a driving force, driving him like to be someone that he can sculpt and be like, okay, you're going to be like that. And I expect you to be like that. So, but there was sexual abuse. So that had to play in it. And, ultimately he did things that I'm sure he shouldn't have done. And he's not here anymore, But
Do all those things excuse his behavior?
no. I would think it would be a mixture of football because he did have CTE. I told you I was actually mentioning to you they actually took pictures of the brain and how like comparison to a normal brain with his brain, dude, and it was pretty messed up.
Yeah,
so
they said it was the brain of a 75-year-old.
yeah, dude.
So do 75-year-olds kill people?
No.
I mean, I'm just asking.
No.
because
I
I feel like people can have these injuries. People can go through these life events and life traumas, but I don't necessarily think that those are excuses that people can use to kill people and hurt people, and you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
There have been cases. I don't
just
know if you
hearing
just
that
heard
defense.
recently. Junior Seau, he was actually like when I was younger, he was like a god. I mean,
Yeah.
And he was never violent, but after the Patriots went 16-0 and then they lost in the Super Bowl,
It's against the Giants, right?
shot himself in the head with a shot in the chest.
In the chest,
Yeah.
because
And he left a note and said, "I need you to study my brain."
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
crazy.
So
That was crazy.
I mean, there are cases
So-
where there are no violence, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. I don't want to come off as someone who doesn't like I'm cold to it.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. But we live in this culture nowadays where if someone commits a crime or if someone hurts another person or if someone's addicted to drugs or whatever, there's always an excuse that we can all fall back on, and there's not. We're losing this personal accountability.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a detriment to our society because these people are people we idolize and we look up to, our youth look up to, and then when they can see these things and then all of a sudden they find themselves in a position where they're like, well, I went through this.
Yeah.
And so that entitles me to act this way.
Yeah,
Right.
I
And
think it would
we
contribute to it, but ultimately in the end, it was personal choice.
But
If it's
how
what he-
come we never saw this in the early days, like when in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, back in the
It's
days, it used to
been
go
around,
like even more hardcore,
right?
right?
And
like
they had
just
less-
the tackling style of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying.
But there were some people too, like at the Steelers, there was a quarterback who killed himself too, right? But he never like did harm to anybody else.
That's what I'm
Right.
talking
So there's,
about.
I can see where you're coming from in the sense of like, you know, if this was the case, this would be happening a long time, like, you know, for a while. But it's just insane to think that.
You're hearing?
I'm getting like a little like static.
Oh, are you? Yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
It's probably the cable. I think it's probably the
we go.
cable.
Nice.
Yeah, it's funny because it's a completely
No, now
different
it's good.
cable.
Now it's
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Huh.
I just didn't want it to ruin the whole thing, so that's why I just wanted to say something.
No, the
So,
whole thing's ruined already.
Hey, that's what we call editing, baby. But yeah, I thought the documentary was crazy. It's crazy. Just he took himself out, and that was that.
No, it's sad. I mean, that's the thing. And a lot of people that have been through any type of trauma and abuse, most people do end up harming themselves. You know, it's the stories that where someone else gets murdered
For
that
sure, yeah.
reach the mainstream, right? That's when we hear about it.
Yeah.
But most often when someone harms themselves, you don't hear about it.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah, it's CTE is one of those things where I just feel like we just don't know anything about it really.
Yeah.
Like, it's all new, so we don't really know like how someone should act, or you know what?
Right.
What if someone that has CTE can't be out in society? You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
we don't really know that yet. Like
Yeah.
what? I mean, it's just really
But
hard
I
to
guess
say at this point.
Like, here's where I push back on that though is we've had these full contact sports forever and it seems like now it's just so suddenly that all of a sudden all these violent people, but it seems like the whole society has slowly become violent, right? I mean, it's
Right.
like you can't go a day without hearing of some shooting or some rape or some robbery, violent robbery. And you know what I mean? It's just like the whole, it just seems like there's this trend where everybody's becoming more violent.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So when you add another layer to it, like CTE, and you're already you're already in that life of violence anyway, maybe that drops that filter down. You know, to where like normally you'd be like, man, I'm not gonna be in this road rage incident right now. You know, you could normally hold yourself back
For sure.
but if you have CTE, all of a sudden you can't hold yourself back. So I get that. That's where I would say.
Right.
But I think overall the whole society has become more violent.
Yeah.
And I think that plays
with
a,
it. Yeah, that plays with it.
certainly
Yeah,
a
for
role.
sure. Because I mean, if you think about back in the days when you started playing football, like the helmets in comparison to back then till now, way different. You know what I'm saying? So these guys were getting clogged up, like, you know, getting hit and whatnot. So it's like,
I mean,
you're right.
You're basically wearing like a plastic bowl on your head, with like a chunk of foam on your ear.
That's it, right? That's gonna keep you safe. But yeah. Another thing that's crazy to me, I mean, just because I'm kind of just asking myself, man, is he cool or something going on? Antonio Brown. He fell off the wagon pretty hard, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know. So recap on what went down with him and the Raiders. Like what it had to do about the helmet, right?
Right. Well,
recertified helmets. He wasn't cool to use, but he wanted to use it. They're like, no, man, this is gonna keep you. This is gonna protect your head. That's not, you need the new one. So was that the whole case behind it, or?
There was a lot of things behind it. So the insane part about it is I don't know the exact numbers, but I believe it was about like $60 million that he had. It was like a $20 million per year, and he had like $60 million that were, and I think it was over 4 years or something like that. He had $60 million that
Stupid
was
money.
guaranteed.
Yeah,
Stupid money.
Basically, what happened is it started with his feet. Actually, he was trying to take care of himself. He went into this cryogenic chamber, and he decided to go in barefoot. So he went in barefoot.
Are you not supposed to go in there?
I don't know
anything about it.
Honestly, the pictures are horrific. If you look it up, like, it's terrible. Like the bottom of his feet were like peeled all the way to his ankle.
What?
Like it was
Was it, like, frostbitten, or?
disgusting. Yeah, frostbitten.
Oh,
And he couldn't run. And then all of a sudden, the helmet
issue. Yeah.
So the helmet issue, the NFL was changing over to a new helmet, and I mean nobody in the league, including Tom Brady or any of the other prima donnas, like anyone who could change the rules, nobody really had anything to say about it. But he filed a grievance against the NFL, a union grievance. He was the only person. So then, all within like a 3-week period, while HBO is filming Hard Knocks in their training camp.
What's Hard Knocks?
Hard Knocks is a documentary every week in training camp. They follow a team.
Okay.
So basically, in the end, they're talking to him about all this stuff, right? The general manager and Mike Mayock is his name. John Gruden, old school guy. They're all talking to him. Well, supposedly they were going to suspend him or they were going to talk about taking away some of his money. So Antonio Brown stood up, pointed at him, and called him a cracker, and told him he was going to beat. Told him he was
The
going
C word flew.
Told him he was going to beat his ass, and basically threatened the general manager. So that is
He's
why
like the Dennis Rodman of football.
it's unbelievable what he got away with. And then,
Or maybe Latrell Sprewell is what I'm thinking of.
within 5 weeks, he gets picked up by the Patriots. They sign him to $30 million guaranteed. He gets accused of domestic sexual assault.
Sexual assault, yeah, with the trainer or his trainer or something like that.
Yeah, with the
Female?
trainer. I guess they went to school together. They went to college together.
Oh, okay, so they knew each other pretty.
They knew each other. I think they were friends, and it just led to that. But now
You
here
think
we
it's
are.
legit?
I'm not really up to date on
I don't.
the incident as of late.
Oh yes, there was a video of him throwing
assault?
stuff or something like
Yeah.
that. Throwing stuff. I'm like, dude, are you serious, dude? Like,
It's going down like
He likes
Antonio
throwing
Brown.
stuff, man.
it's going down.
Dude, he likes throwing stuff. There was an incident also, like last year, he was throwing furniture off of a 20-story building.
Dude,
and
if we ever
almost
get
killed
big,
someone.
we got to start doing that shit.
Just throwing furniture.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Just
rack
take
up
this
full.
glass and just throw it through the window.
Yeah, and after, I mean, like in the middle of an interview, just flip some tables.
Flip the tables.
It's over. It's over.
That'll be a special episode of the podcast. Right?
Yeah,
for sure. But
Table flip.
Yeah.
but that's crazy. What? Yeah, man. I don't know
I
what's
have no
going on with
words.
him.
I don't know how 90 million can slip through someone's hands like that.
Dude, 90 mil.
The entitlement is just
CTE.
unbelievable.
Is there any allegation or any type of assumption that maybe this?
I have an opinion maybe that could contribute to his actions and what he's doing. Maybe. I mean, I don't know, but we will find out if. I mean, I'm sorry to say, if he causes any harm to anybody or himself. I don't know.
Well,
CTE.
no, and
Yeah.
see something like that, I would say maybe there has to be a closer look
For sure.
Yeah,
for
he
sure.
was
because
arrested.
he's
He was just arrested.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, with that one, I would, and with something like that, I would want someone to have as much help as the NFL could offer them.
Yeah. Because
obviously, if that were to be, you would see that obviously he got it from playing. So take care of him. It's easy to, when someone starts slipping, right? Starts doing some shit that we can all like, oh God. It's easy to forget that there is that illness, not mental illness, but whatever, that sickness, whatever, that brokenness. And so it's easy for us to let those people go. So we do still have to keep the responsibility intact. We
sure.
still got to take care of these people.
Yeah.
So maybe not, it's maybe the career's over or whatever, but still got to take care of them.
Yeah. It's insane, man. I mean, I just hope he
Can
gets
we
his
talk
marbles
about
together and all
the
that.
the Pro Bowl?
The Pro Bowl?
I have some questions.
Oh yeah, sure.
Because we get the sports guy here, and,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
I'm like completely illiterate to sports,
Yeah.
and I wanted to talk. So
You're holding that knife pretty close to him.
it's only because I'm drunk.
Oh, no, right? It's prison habits.
I'm comfortable with weapons being pointed at me.
I've only been to county.
My brother's been in the big house.
I know a lot of people that have been to prison, but
You watch a lot of prison shows, so I'm assuming that's probably how you know how to handle that little thing. Right there.
oh yeah, oh dude, I know. Yeah. You take those
sous
pieces
chef?
of papers. Yeah, you take those pieces of papers, you
Benihana's,
get them
baby.
wet, right?
Yeah.
you just get them hard. Oh yeah, dude, those will get
You're an
sharp.
expert at that.
Yeah.
So what about the Pro Bowl? Or
So
are
what
you
I'm
doing?
okay. So here's my question. So they're talking about moving it from Orlando, and so this year it's going to be in Orlando.
Okay.
But they're talking about next year moving it to Vegas.
Okay.
For just a 1-year thing, but then they're looking at sort of like, where is this thing going to end up? Another thing, did you guys hear about the rule about so when someone scores, they're trying to keep it interesting, and the NFL is trying to turn the Pro Bowl into like it's seen as more of this like tag football. People are very
flag football
disinterested.
type deal?
Yeah, like whatever. But they're trying to turn this into an experience. Like, hey, this is a week-long event. That's why they loved Orlando, because they could bring the players and their family and friends and really just like connect people with the players. But so what they're talking about with the turning this thing into an experience, they're talking about a new rule change, and I think it's this year, where if someone scores a touchdown, then they get the choice to take the ball to the 25-yard line and then score for another first down. If they can get another first down, then they can continue to play again, right? Instead of kicking it off to the other team, they take it to the 25 on their side and then try to run it all the way down. So if they can get a first down again, then they can score again.
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah.
I haven't heard about that. So
then,
it's like 50 yards or something that they have to get? Or it's like one play that they have to run to get a crap load of yards?
No, they got to get 10 yards, right? But they're starting from their 25.
Oh, okay.
Right? As if they got the kick.
Oh, okay.
That's crazy.
But if they don't get that first down. So anyway, they're talking about doing that this year.
Interesting.
You guys haven't heard that, huh?
I mean, I haven't heard about it.
You schooled them on that one.
I think that a lot of times I haven't heard about that rule, but I think a lot of times in the Pro Bowl, what's scary about that rule to me is that it seems like they're trying it out. Like
absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, when I was reading the article,
thinking this is like a test run to implement it into the actual NFL league.
Well, I think in the long run, the goal is to like eliminate contact, which is sad.
That I would stop watching.
Honestly, no,
I gotta watch figure skating at that point.
At that point,
I would start watching hockey.
It's
the Seattle Totems.
It's like touch football at that point, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if you've
I'll
guys
just
noticed.
start watching my high school team.
They already They already have minimized. They've done a few things to minimize contact. Like on the kickoffs, they move the ball forward 10 yards. And the reason why they did that is because the ball gets kicked into the end zone every time.
Oh,
there's
that's
no
right.
hits.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There's no hits. So nowadays you're seeing kickers try to use that to their advantage, and they're trying to kick it into play to like bait them into returning it because they're 10 yards closer, the return team, or the team that's going down to go attack the return team, right? The kickoff team.
Yeah.
So they can actually, if they kick it like, onto the 2-yard line and get the guy to catch it, then he has to return it, and they're going to hit him like on the 10 15.
It would make sense. Yeah.
So
interesting.
It's not really working. Because kickers are kind of adjusting.
They know, they know where to put that baby at.
Did they try that in the Pro Bowl first?
Yeah.
We figured it out.
So,
dang, you cracked the code, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Well, no, he spelled it out for us.
No, but you brought up the point that this is like a trial test run to
because I'm getting immune, baby.
Yeah, we're free from the coronavirus.
Yeah, football's gonna be disappointing. I mean, that would be like almost like UFC fighters putting on like gloves like on their feet, and then like putting like pads on their elbows and stuff, and then putting on headgear. I mean, it would just be
the fact that you went to UFC. That's exactly where I wanted to go next. No,
same here.
I don't know anything. I mean, but the thing is I feel like the more you soften up football, the more that we are going to gravitate toward more contact sports. So I think that you would see a spike in UFC.
Probably.
I do think
Did you guys see Conor McGregor last week?
Dude,
highlights. I saw it.
That. I didn't see it.
Insane. So
tell me.
Yeah,
Fill me in.
No,
Fill me
I
in
mean,
about the 40 seconds
so
that took place.
Basically, to start the fight, Cowboy, he's actually a pretty good ground fighter, and a lot of people don't know that because he just stands and bangs with people.
Yeah.
But he knew that Conor was a good, standing fighter, so he immediately ran out, tried to take him down, and they tied up. And Conor McGregor threw this like shoulder.
Yeah, they were talking about specifically talking about the shoulder technique that he was doing. Yeah.
And I honestly have never seen anything like it. Like I've only seen it in boxing where they use it to like kind of roll off of someone and kind of basically get some space, right?
Okay.
Well, he literally broke the guy's nose with his shoulder.
With his shoulder.
No,
Yes.
Dude. Yeah.
He hit him 4 times. Like
no. I did not know that.
Dude.
And then he backed up. He backed up, and then Conor like threw a right. He connected, and then he just threw a head kick. Knocked him down, and then he just wailed on him, and it was over.
It was insane.
And they actually said it was like, in Street Fighter, when you get perfect.
Oh, yeah.
It's like perfect or whatever. Yeah. He literally
flawless.
17 significant strikes to 0.
Yeah.
In the fight.
And he's won.
He just had a good night then.
Yeah, he
because
had.
Cowboy
He's the
was
first
on it.
UFC fighter that he's in 3 weight divisions. He's knocked him out TKO.
Yeah, in 3
divisions.
So
right?
so
Really?
one thing Joe Rogan spelled out it's I never really thought
Joe
about
Rogan?
it. Yeah, right. What up, Joe?
Who's this Rogan?
Yeah, what up, Joe?
No, shout out to Joe, man. That's the
Yeah,
legend.
no.
But yeah.
So he said that when you are a fighter, and he specifically mentioned Tyson and Evander Holyfield. He said when you are introduced to something that you've never seen before, it's scary. So like,
which is what happened with Tyson.
Right. Tyson and Evander Holyfield. Tyson, after the fight, he complained that they were hitting heads a lot.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, man, we were just coming in and slamming heads.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same thing with the shoulder, like where it's just one of those things. He wasn't prepared for it.
Yeah.
He's prepared to get kicked in the head, right? He's prepared to get taken to the ground, but he's not prepared to get his nose busted while he's getting hugged.
Shoulder.
You know what I mean?
That's
So
amazing.
It just shocked him, I think, and he got finished. But realistically, I think even with that broken nose, if it wouldn't have been a shocking move, he would have survived. Even if he just got popped right in the mouth, he would have been fine. But it just threw him off.
Okay, so say that didn't happen. Say that it just got him in the chin, whatever.
Yeah.
How do you think that the fight would have fared? Would it still have been the same?
It's hard to say after just knowing how it happened and that he won, Connor. It's a toss up at that point to me, bro. Honestly, I think
hard to see it
it would go to decision. I think, in my opinion. I don't know.
That's kind of what I thought. When I knew the two were fighting, I could not put my finger on either one.
Yeah,
I personally couldn't see Cowboy winning.
Really?
Yeah, just because in the people that Conor has taken down in the past are like legit. Like people like Eddie Alvarez when he won the lightweight title, it was like 3 years ago when he became champ.
Yeah.
He destroyed that guy. And he literally, a lot of people think he's like the top 5 155 pounder to ever live. And he made him look like he was a nobody. You know what I mean? So Cowboy, he lost his last 2 fights by finish. Like he got KO'd, I think twice. Or got finished. I think against Ferguson, he got his nose busted and he couldn't like continue or whatever. But I mean, he fights the best every time, but he's just not good enough. You know what I mean? He beats the guys that are the new guys that are coming in and the guys that just can't quite get there. But whenever he fights against someone who's a champ, he can't win.
It's kind of like that fight with Nate Diaz too. I feel like a lot of people were downing Nate, and dude, that was a battle. Dude. He got touched up on that one.
But to be honest with you, that's just an example. Like for him, he got taken out by Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
I mean, Nate Diaz isn't really a finisher, you know. Yeah. So it's kind of telling if you're
who was the I want to say
Khabib.
Khabib, thank you.
I love kebabs.
Yeah, technically, and he gets really offended if you don't call him Habib.
Oh, really?
Habib, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Habib. Yeah, it's the case on it.
He would kick my ass twice, dude. Over. I'm calling him Khabib
Have you seen
every
the
time.
video where he confronts the guy, Artem Labov?
No.
Conor McGregor's friend.
No.
He was in the UFC for a while, but he did the bare knuckle thing.
Oh, okay.
Dude, Khabib, when he first came in, he had heard that Artem was talking crap about him. Artem's also Russian.
Okay.
So he's from Dagestan. Habib. So he came up to him with his goons and he cornered him and he's like, I heard you talk. I
did hear this.
Oh my God, it was horrific. Dude.
Yeah.
The guy's like, I didn't say anything. I'm sorry. He like apologized to him and like basically he said, say you're a bitch. And he's like, I'm a bitch.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
I'd say it too. Word to my mom.
I mean, we have dudes confronting you at that point. You're like, all right.
Habib and all of his brothers just looking at you like, dude.
Yeah, it's
that
was kind of where the beef started with him and Connor, right? Because that was Connor's boy, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why
that's where it started originally. Yeah.
Okay.
So and then he chased him with the dolly.
Yeah.
See that at the bus? That was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I thought he was on some Kanye shit.
Yeah.
Like, where he was just trying to get attention.
Yeah.
But I thought, dude, this guy's loke.
Yeah.
This guy is loke and ready to smoke.
Oh, dude.
And they, in that fight, man, I mean, Khabib came and just schooled him, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
but have you been hearing the details that have come out about Conor in that first fight?
No.
Apparently, he was living the good life.
Just letting himself loose, just kind of like Andrew Ruiz.
No.
So yeah, literally exactly like Andrew Ruiz. I was listening to.
I don't know who Andrew Reeves is.
We'll tell a story on that.
So after the Mayweather fight, he made $100 million. Apparently, he decided that he wasn't going to train and he was going to do it on his own. And they said that he literally became an alcoholic, and he admitted that he didn't train at all and just went into the fight. So anyway, sorry. So you go. What about tell him about Ruiz?
So along with that, obviously when you hit the limelight, you hit the mega mills on that, you kind of let yourself go. It just depends on the person. If you're focused and you just drive and push forward, you want to maintain that title, cool, But with Ruiz, he knocked out the #1 heavyweight champion, which was Anthony Joshua, in what was it, like the 4th or 5th round. Just pieced him, bro. Ruiz got knocked down. Ruiz got knocked down first, and they were like, "All right, this is done. It's done." I was like, "Okay, it's done. It's over." Yeah, crack. Dude stands up. They start exchanging, dude. Ruiz knocks Anthony Joshua down. After that, they keep going. Dude, you knew after that, like, something was not right. Like, his mind was just like, whoa. Like, he hit me like, okay, this was unexpected. Gets knocked down again next round. And after that, Ruiz wins. He's a new heavyweight underdog. He got the fight because the other guy that Anthony Joshua was supposed to fight, he got caught with steroids.
Yeah.
So he was like a late comer. He wasn't. He was kind of like, a couple weeks in, I'm gonna train and I'll take the fight. Fuck it. And dude, he messed him up.
Yeah.
New champion, new heavyweight champion, 3 belts. Dude, he was on top of the world.
And you got to paint the picture of how he looks too.
Yeah. So he's a pretty big, like, he's a pretty husky dude. Like, I mean, it's kind of like if it's, I don't know. It's one of those boxers you wouldn't think that would win. Like, just to me, like, when you look at him, but I kind of had a more like, I knew like
fat. When you say husky,
dude, he's like Eddie plus 90 with a shirt on. I'm dead
Dude.
serious,
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
Like, dude, he's throwing the hook and his boobs.
Dude, you wouldn't think, like, if you were to look at him, you probably wouldn't think he'd fight, but dude, he can throw those hands.
Like, who was the guy, the Street Fighter that was on YouTube? The
Kimbo Slice.
Kimbo.
Yeah.
Kimbo.
Slice.
Was it like that?
No. The dude that he fought looked like Kimbo Slice.
Oh yeah.
But when you match him up, you're like, nah, okay, we know who's gonna win and we know who's gonna lose. Period. Right? But he shocked the world.
Yeah.
KO'd him. Done.
I mean, it's matching those two up next to each other is like taking a Marvel like comic and like just shredded. And then going into a cafeteria and pulling out Jose out of the back and taking off the hairnet and putting some gloves on him. I mean, literally.
Dude,
that's
in all realness, though, it was like the fact that
It's
he
like
took
if Tupac and Suge were gonna get in a fight and Tupac
yeah,
got him.
Yeah. No, but it was so why we're tying this together is because the second fight came around. They fought in Dubai, right? And he lost. But he lost due to decision. They went all the way 12 rounds. But he said he let himself go. He wasn't training hard. He made a lot of money. So he was just enjoying himself. He wasn't taking it seriously, and he admitted to it. And that's what happened. And that's kind of what happened with Conor, right? So that's
I mean, they built a stadium for that fight.
Yeah,
that's the insane thing. Down in Saudi Arabia, they I guess there's no way they were gonna have that fight down there, but the Prince of Saudi Arabia like bought the fight. Yeah, it was like $300 million they gave to like
and hacked into Jeff Bezos' cell phone.
It's crazy. I mean, really just think about it. You know, we all have normal jobs, right? It would be like if you won the lottery tomorrow, would you go back to work on Monday? I wouldn't.
No.
You know what I mean? I mean
that's a no.
So that's an easy answer. So it's kind
I would be going to the casino,
right?
Getting hooked on crack, buying crack for everyone else.
I think if I won the lotto, I would not be buying crack. I'd be buying something else.
It's but you were saying
But it's just you get to that point and it's just you
want to take this and outside. I want this to be on camera. You want to take this in the studio?
What, freestyle?
Dude, we should freestyle.
Everybody, 25 seconds each. Acapella?
Acapella, no beat, just straight from the dome.
I'm looking at Eddie. He just don't look ready.
Oh, okay, that's the first bar?
I'm going downstairs and I'm going to be like, hey, I need some Filipino spaghetti. Shit's too sweet. I ain't about to eat. Drink some Corona because I don't want to get on another plane to go to Yuana.
Is that a real place? Well, no, it should have said
I don't know what the place. I forgot what the place was called.
Oh man,
Johan. I think it's Johan.
Are you
or
up
something.
now?
Nah, I can't free if my life depended on me.
Yeah. Neither can I. Obviously.
So, man, I forgot where we're at. I mean, we're just going.
We were just talking about.
The millions,
getting the
millions,
money, and then keeping the motivation, and like Kavanaugh. I'm not really sure what his first name is, but that's the guy that trained Conor McGregor. Yeah, and he had talked about that a fighter that's gotten everything that they've wanted out of it is his worst nightmare. And
so, well, look at Mayweather though.
Oh,
I mean that's the difference, right?
That's a good example. Yeah, that's the difference between someone that's driven, that wants to be the best, aside from someone that's like, I'll train somewhat, whatever. But that's a good point. I mean, look at Mayweather, dude. I mean, dude.
He's always been the outlier. You know, I mean, his fights were always boring to watch. Yeah. I remember, oh man, I hated the pay-per-view fights because it was just, Well, and he fought with that broken shoulder. right?
Yeah.
So
was-
He had a strategic career, in my opinion. I
oh,
think
dude,
if
he knew
would've-
what he was doing.
If he would have gone balls to the wall and just fought everyone like a lot of these guys do, he would have lost.
He
I
was
guarantee you, I
like
think he
the
would've lost.
accountant of boxing.
Yeah.
You know what I
He's
mean? He
smart.
knew the tax
Yeah.
code.
But in all reality, it's kind of simple. I think Andre Ward, you know who Andre Ward is, right? He pretty much said, or his coach who trained him was saying that, you know, he wants to teach his fighters to, you know, be offensively good, but at the same time be defensively good, to where you want to, you know, hit and not get hit. Kind of what Mayweather would always say.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that's kind of the name of the game, where he was just trying to figure out the science and where, you know, you're gonna pop, 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 and then just kind of like keep your distance and just kind of like, you know, win by. If you can win by a KO, cool, but you can win this on the cards. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
better long lasting because you're not gonna get clogged in the head so many times, so you're gonna get brain damage. I mean, you look at a lot of fighters, like even his uncle Roger Mayweather, he's just like not all there. Like he's struggling because of all the punishment he took. But then you go back to somebody like Julio Cesar Chavez, the legend. What is it? 165 fights. He banged, bro. He banged, but he's doing fine.
Yeah.
He runs, exercises, works out. So
You remember that old video game called Fight Night?
oh yeah,
No.
Who doesn't?
So it's this old PlayStation game where, and there basically is a boxing game, right? And you were able, while you were fighting, you could push start and you could look at what percentage of your body has been destroyed, basically.
Oh,
man.
So you could look at your head and it would say a percentage,
Yeah.
and then you could look at your body. So that's what I always imagine, like as a fighter, that head is never going to recover.
Oh, never, dude.
So if you
it's
take
permanently done.
40% in that one fight and
yeah.
you just have a war, that is never going to come back.
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Wow.
So as a fighter, I feel like your body can always recover, whether it's your ligaments
Oh,
or
for
your
sure.
muscles, but your bank
Or-
is your head.
Yeah.
And you got to protect it.
So do you guys think? Just a question I kind of want to ask. Do you feel like UFC is a much more brutal fight in comparison to boxing? Because in boxing, you're going for someone's head continuously through 12 rounds. Aside from UFC, it's more aggressive because you know you're throwing kicks, elbows, you're just doing all that. But where do you think which sport does the more damage to your head? Do you think?
Well, I'm gonna go. Let's see. Boxing. What kind of protection do you wear in UFC? You just wear the little gloves,
little
right?
gloves. That's
4-ounce gloves.
Yeah, I'm
ounce
gonna
gloves.
say UFC is
UFC?
gonna be because I know you're going with the whole thing. But no, you know what? Boxing. I'm gonna say boxing
Yeah.
only because even with the padded gloves,
Dude,
you're still getting
You're
your
getting
weight
rocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, and depending how strong these guys are, like Mike Tyson, you're going up against someone like Mike Tyson,
Yeah,
bro.
what-
You're
yeah.
gonna be lights
So
out.
you know what's really interesting about it though is it seems like a misconception. People don't understand that boxing gloves are not built to protect the face; they're built to protect the hand.
Yeah, for sure.
So
No, I wouldn't have
the
thought of
one
that.
really funny thing about it is that people don't realize what that glove is doing is it's allowing for your hand to not shatter on first
Yeah,
contact.
on impact. Yeah.
So the gloves were designed so all the people in the crowd could watch you fight for longer. So typically, studies would say that a bare knuckle fight does less damage than a boxing match, and the reason why is that you can't take too many of those. You get hit, you
You're
get
done.
sliced, right? You're
Yeah,
sliced
yeah,
open.
yeah, yeah.
So they have the new thing called
Bare knuckles.
bare knuckle
Yeah,
fighting
no.
championship. I actually ordered one. I actually got to see Labov, McGregor's friend, who we
Yeah,
talked about earlier,
yeah.
fight against a former boxer,
Paulie Malignaggi.
and he beat him.
Yeah.
He
Oh, wow.
beat the boxer. Yes.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's a different game. Like you can only take so much damage. You know, you can take 1, 2. Your
So
face
you guys
is just.
agree that boxing is?
I feel
worse
like
on
I
the
think
head?
boxing
Yeah,
is
for
worse
sure.
because you're taking 500 punches to the face, in
Face,
one
dude.
night.
And then they do
Sure.
the CompuStats, and you're there 1,000 over, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, you're getting hit,
Just
lit up.
It's like the speed bag. The speed bag is your head, basically.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, it's a
Speed
sport.
bag.
Sliced and diced. It's a dangerous sport. I think both overall dangerous sports, but that's crazy that you brought up bare knuckles because they're trying to bring that up to be the new wave of a new sport now.
I haven't even heard of that.
Yeah, bare knuckle fighting, dude. They just
Yeah,
go at it,
man.
no
It's
gloves,
seriously
nothing.
underground, and I thank God for on
Like Fight
demand
Club?
and like streaming because I seriously I was like, how am I going to order this fight?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't know. I have to take my computer and like take an HDMI cord
You
and
plug
like
it
hook
in,
it
old
into my
school
TV.
stuff.
But apparently, yeah, I turned on my Fubo TV
Yeah.
on my smart TV, and it showed it right there.
Dude,
$19.99. Ordered it. Yeah.
You would seriously be a lot of fun. Like, you know how Joe Rogan does those live fightings, those podcasts?
Yeah.
You would be a lot of fun to set up an episode like that to where we have those bare knuckle or something like that.
Yeah.
To where
Well, it's in. I say fuck it. Let's bring it up to light. You want to do something like that, right?
Yeah.
And
you want to do something?
He wants to do something like that.
You want to fight bare knuckle?
No.
Well, I will. We have any takers out there?
Sorry.
No. He
Too
wants
much
to.
vaccination.
He was
My
talking
girl
about.
knows that I want to.
You want a
every now and
podcast
then.
or
Well,
an
a podcast or
Okay.
He wants to do something sports segment wise like that,
Hell yeah.
and have it kind of affiliated with a tip touch, kind of to where we want to.
Let's do it.
I'll do mine as a
tip touches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, tips. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's touch
there
our
you go,
tits.
yeah.
Okay, now
So-
everybody stand up and let's do it.
The real
Anybody got a
thing.
lighter?
Let's Mercedes Benz it.
No, but we were talking about off air. We were talking about doing something like that, or he wants to do something like that sports wise, where we can commentate on stuff like that happen, like when you be boxing, MMA, basketball games, football games. I mean, even though me, like I said, I'm not really a person that follows stats like in football or basketball, but
I
it'd be cool to talk
guarantee
about.
if we started doing episodes like that,
For sure.
we would.
Yeah,
We would
for
read
sure.
up on it,
Yeah.
and then you would just take the helm.
Yeah.
Dude, I would love to do that.
Yeah, let's do that. I
Oh,
mean,
dude,
let's do it.
it's-
Yeah.
Well,
So
and
for all you
yeah.
watching, coming soon for sure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We're coming up with
I
the
mean,
main
I
goal.
literally
We'll come
could sit here for 10 hours and talk about sports.
Oh, yeah.
Like I have.
up. I mean, we got the memory for it. Why
I
not?
love it.
Right?
I love it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thanks for
Yeah.
having me on, guys.
Done deal.
Yeah, for sure. So
Done deal.
another
Let's
thing
get
too,
the
just-
napkin like Tupac did in Rikers Island.
sign him up. So also with that too, as we've probably touched bases on this too, we also stream online. Me and him have been heavily trying to get followers on that, on the streaming tip to where
on Mixer.
a mixer, yeah.
Yeah.
So
we will be over on Twitch eventually. Too,
Yeah.
but,
Oh, yeah. So
Cool, cool.
we're getting on that now. The ball is rolling now. It's a matter of just being consistent, and we got some cool stuff lined up for it. In the sense of merch and some stickers and stuff. It's gonna come out along with a tip touch solely as well. So yeah, it's a lot of cool stuff that we have planned in
Yeah, and I know we talked about some giveaways in the future.
giveaways
too,
for
our
sure. We want to do
giveaways.
giveaways too because we definitely want to be kind of in touch with the people that follow us on Mixer and Twitch, like you said too. But just wait for it. This takes time. We want it to come out as perfect as possible. I know there's nothing as perfect, but close to it. Whatever.
No, that's
you
cool,
know.
man. That's I love hearing that.
Yeah.
This is the first I'm hearing it.
No, we've been talking.
Yeah, I'm the odd man out. Huh?
No. Well, now. I mean,
I'm
we're looking at-
kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I was working. I was making money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Why would you have to ask?
So
Last one, man.
anything else you want to bring to the table?
I just want to make sure if we are ending it or whatever, that Brad, if you have any way if you want people to reach out, connect with you, this is your time to let people know where to reach out.
For
Go
sure.
for it, go
So Eddie and I are obviously, like I said, we're on Mixer.
Yeah.
So my gamer tag is Clutch Daddy. So it's
He earned the stripes, and
yeah,
I'm
so
gonna tell you, I'm a believer
evolved.
here.
I evolved.
Yeah, he is evolved. He's
it's
evolved
actually
again.
spelled CLTH, so it's missing the U. And
Just
then
like all the
Daddy,
rappers do it.
Daddy, Daddy,
Yeah.
all one word.
Yeah.
And then I also have a lifestyle shoe Instagram.
Yeah,
pot.
it's kind of like a blog
Yeah,
type,
yeah,
blog type.
I
Yeah,
would
get the
say.
conversation going with the sneaker community and all that. But
Exactly, and Eddie and I have talked about possibly trying to arrange like a sneaker con in
Yeah.
Seattle in the future.
So like in the same realms of when Milka was talking about the barber battles,
Yes,
they have
sir.
stuff like for sneakers where people come in, slang sneakers, and like what you see here,
Yep.
and slang them out. Just connect with a bunch of people that want to trade because the sneaker game has evolved. They're using them like baseball cards where they trade. Hey, I'll trade you this and I'll throw money on top of this, or hey, you have those for sale, I'll buy those. So yeah, that's pretty much what a sneaker con is. So we want to maybe in the grand scheme of things, we want to do something like that.
Yeah,
Because I've never seen it in Seattle. They do it in Los
Can you
Angeles.
imagine WAMU Theater?
Yeah.
Right attached to CenturyLink Field.
What size of shoe are you
So
wearing?
those are 14s. And those are nothing special really. I just because I'm wearing the Sonic jersey today, I wanted to match.
Match the drip.
Yeah, right, yeah. So those are the 10s, the Seattle edition, and they just came out like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So I just kind of got all my Seattle gear on. So
Yeah.
why
man.
not?
Dude.
This is actually the first day I've worn those. I took them out of the
you
box.
cracked
this
them out.
morning, so.
Damn,
Dude.
look at that.
I wish if we can make this happen, I want you to show him the shoes that you want to get.
Oh, the air. It's called an air mock. We have the outlet up here in Tulalip, right?
Yeah. But tell him
And,
why. Tell them why.
Oh, because I'm 6% native, dude.
What?
It's like these native shoes.
Dude, are you getting paid?
Dude,
or is that too low?
No, they don't. They don't recognize.
But the funny thing is, he's like, what would people think of me if the fact that they know that I'm 6% native and I rock these bad ones?
Oh,
It was
yeah,
like
dude.
these like
Hey.
native shoes.
Like
Oh
I
my
only
God.
wear them 6% of the time of the year, right? 6% of the year. Like, hey man, I'm going to a powwow,
dude.
and
But the funny thing
shit's
is,
gonna
on
get
Go,
lit.
he looked them up and they were on I think Go, and they were like at 200, 250.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah,
But,
so they're up there in
dude,
price.
I would only wear those on the basketball court.
Yeah. Dude, it's funny.
Yo,
I used to
watch out.
always be about wearing like all my kicks on the court, but
Yeah.
now I'm like scared because you see what happens when you play basketball.
Yeah.
First play of the game, someone steps right on the top of your shoe.
Oh,
There's
dude,
a black
they're done.
mark right down
Creased
the side.
up.
It's
Dude.
done. It's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
So now I usually have a couple pairs of like the ones that I would like wear to mow the lawn.
Yeah.
That I like, you know what I mean? Even though they're nice, like compared to, you know, but like other shoes, I mean, they're not like my best.
For
I
sure.
just go out and wear my scrub shoes that I'd go mow the lawn in. So.
I love it.
Yeah.
But tell them where you can reach you for that page on the sneaker blog.
Instagram is at Spot the Fire.
Spot the Fire.
So,
So
Spot
check
the
it out.
Fire.
Check it out.
Yeah.
I've been trying to make daily posts and post news on the
For sure.
Try to take a picture of my kicks of the day.
Yeah.
I also have a few things in the work with Eddie with some merch,
Yeah.
and also as well as possibly some priority. Basically, I will be offering services to try to get a specific
The
shoe.
specific shoe for you.
And it
Yeah.
could potentially be a monthly service, but we're still talking about it. So.
Sure, it's in the mix. Just an idea.
Man.
So-
Anyway, guys, thanks for having me on.
For sure. No, yeah.
Good.
So, I mean, for everybody watching, as I said before at the beginning of the podcast, you can reach us, or you can actually listen to this, the audio portion of this session on Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Apple Podcasts. The video is on our YouTube page at the Tip Touch Podcast, which you can find a direct link to it on our Instagram page at the Tip Touch Podcast. So everything you can find will be there, and we'll set up the links in the description as well. And once again, thank you for everybody for listening, following, showing us support. We appreciate it. We're really appreciative of that. And yeah, I mean, till then, we'll see you guys next time.